What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So as you can see, I'm in the tackle dungeon. This is where I keep all my fishing materials, but today I wanted to go over what my opinion of the best bass fishing baits are here in Wisconsin. As always, if you do want to see specific videos, please comment down below. Please engage, and it'll help me try to understand a little bit about what you guys want to see. Right now we are on the grind during the bow hunting season, but with fishing coming to a close, or at least open water fishing coming to a close, I wanted to try to do a video that actually shows you the stuff that I've actually caught a lot of my fish on. Now, I can actually break it down into a very few select baits that I've actually had a lot of success with, but it's more so what specific brand that I have a ton of success with. This brand obviously being the Googan baits, and specifically a few of the ones that really work for me are the Rattling Ned, specifically in the PB&J, as well as the mud minnow or smelt color. These ones, I use these for about smallmouth. Every single time I go smallmouth fishing, which you guys know on the channel, we do a ton of smallmouth fishing. I am going to throw these in order to try to catch some big smallmouth. In my opinion, in the north woods of Wisconsin, they work very well to catching fish. And then the next one is the Bandito bug. Now, there could be a variety of different colors that you use for Bandito bug. I typically stick to the Okeechobee Craw, as well as the natural color as well. Now, the third one that I actually use that I've had a lot of success with is the actual drag and drop. Now, not a lot of people don't actually use the drag and drop, and to be honest, I don't really understand why. I think this gives you a really dulled down profile for bed fishing. I specifically use this more so for bed fishing, but I have used it for like pitching and stuff like that. I've had some success with it, but I've had more luck with throwing this when it's early bass bedding season, maybe into where they're starting to fire up and lay on their beds, and I just pitch onto the beds and I sight fish them. So this is kind of like my sight fishing bait. I actually throw it as a wacky rig, and I'll toss it and have it drift into the bed and see if that it will actually get picked up. But I'll also put this on a smaller hook and Texas rig this, and then pitch it into the bed to try to get a reaction strike out of it. All in all, it's really worked really well for me. Like I said, though, I usually use this for bed fishing rather than open water fishing. I can think of like a handful of times that I maybe use this in other applications other than fishing beds. I also want to show you guys like terminal tackle. What do I actually use a lot of for these baits? Obviously, with the I have two boxes. This is my largemouth terminal tackle, and then I have a smallmouth specific box as well. In the smallmouth specific box, I have your typical smallmouth stuff, whopper ploppers, a couple of smaller swim jigs, small little swim baits, marabou jigs. The biggest one, this is my favorite, and this is probably 99.9% of the time that I'm fishing for smallmouth bass, I'm going to use a Ned rig. And this is the type of hooks that I actually use for smallmouth here in Wisconsin. I kind of go in between both the ones with the lock point right here on here to actually lock that bait in there, or I actually use the Woe tungsten Ned rig as well. Now, I've seen a lot of people comment about like sizes and everything like that. I'll carry two different sizes. One size I'll carry is for like lakes and laydowns where I know it's like a rock to sand transition. The lighter one I'll use is this. But in rivers, if I need to actually get down there to actually target those fish and get into some current and fish some maybe edges of that current, I'll use a heavier one to actually get down there. Now, with the largemouth tackle box, I actually use a variation of stuff as well. Typically, if I'm throwing a jig, I'm going to put one of those Bandito bugs on there. I have a mixture of flipping jigs, football jigs, swim jigs, kind of a variety of it. Me personally, though, what I've seen that works the best here in Wisconsin is swim jigs, fishing weed lines, rather than actually pitching. I've seen a lot of people have success with like pitching in Wisconsin, but for me, I feel like weed transition lines to deeper water has been very effective with swim jigs in our area. I will typically use Okeechobee craw color, PB&J. It could be using a bluegill color. Typically, though, I stick with that bluegill color to try to actually draw these fish in. This is one of my flipping bluegill jigs, one of my favorite jigs, but I also have a swim bait jig on there too. Like I said, though, I will also put I'll put a craw, probably a Bandito bug on the back as a trailer, but sometimes I'll also put a swim bait as well on the back of that as well. And then finally, I have my flipping hooks, which I'll use for the for bed fishing. I'll use the smaller flipping hooks right here. And I also have the lock point on there in order for them to stay on a little bit better. The nice thing about these is that they're very durable. These are the Eagle Claw hooks that I actually use. And then I also use your typical like Texas rig hooks. I could use a wide gap. I could use a smaller gap. It could just vary. It really just depends on the situation. And another one that I actually use if I am using a swim bait is I use an underspin. I have had some luck putting a Bandito bug on this and this stopping it on the bottom and then flipping it up or fluttering it up, kind of like a crayfish scuttering off. I've had some success with that, but I haven't had too much success with that. But that's gonna be it. That's gonna be the Tackle Dungeon episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one.